Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. I was just flying around my wonderful base when off in the distance, what did I see? Can you see it right there? Random iron blocks, and from here you can actually see part of Mumbo's base. We are actually not that far apart from one another. But what is this? It goes all the way down there, and I think I see a beacon base. Well, I can't be too surprised. Looks like someone's been instant mining down here. And yes, that creeper literally did just spawn in front of our eyes. That one right there, it just popped into existence. This game can be full of distractions. Let's talk about what we did last episode. We constructed a farm, and I wanted to get this out of the way because there's a project we're going to be undertaking today in the middle area of this strange and wonderful tab. But let's check it out. Last episode we built this magnificent looking sugarcane farm, and look at that. 2.5, almost a half, 2.5 stacks of sugarcane. What an epic farm. No, not really. Yeah, this thing isn't going to produce very much. It's a small farm, you know. I don't need a crazy amount of sugarcane. And here's the thing, I've hardly been on the server, since making that, so it hasn't been loaded. Anyhoozle, in our storage area, I have been tidying away some shulker boxes that have filled up with clutter, and I'd also been thinking about these blocks right here. I believe I've got a solution, and the solution is going to go in the middle of this room where we have our lectern. We have constructed most of these things. We haven't done the wood farm. The vine farms we're going to look at later on. And then there's probably some blocks and stuff here I haven't crafted, but distractions aside, I need to remove this because we are going to go down right here in the very center of this room and create a little control panel area. And that is why I built the sugarcane farm, so I know how much space I have to work with. And let me tell you this, it's more than enough times 10. There's actually a stupid amount of space down here, so I never really needed to worry about it. So with this space, we're going to create a really cool redstone contraption from back in the day. When I say back in the day, I'm talking about years ago when I used to upload tutorials all the time. We built this really cool contraption that we're going to take advantage of today. And then in the area down below that uses the contraption to get in and out of, we're going to put in all of these sorts of blocks and have a little area for working where I can put all of my junk shulker boxes. I can go down there and craft stuff, right? So to get in, we need a redstone contraption, and the footprint of this thing are the scaffolding blocks that you see right here. Now it will all fit underneath the white concrete blocks. However, as you can see, it just goes over the edge here by one block, which is such a shame. It might mean we end up like rebuilding some of this here to hide it, but I think what we'll do is build the redstone contraption first and worry about how it looks after. And look at this, it's so slick. It's so very slick, and all you have to do is walk onto this piston and then you get dropped down below to this slime block. Pretty fantastic, right? Now the redstone here we can actually maneuver and move out of position a bit, so we don't need to worry about this. This can become a room in which we stand in the center and we access all of those different work blocks and other things as well. And then when we want to leave this room, we press a button, and with some redstone timing we get sent straight back up here. And then we can jump out, which also activates it again because it's triggered by this string updating the piston. Now somewhere around here, yeah, look, there's like this one block where unfortunately things are exposed. It's almost perfect. So all of that redstone is hidden under a floor, which makes it very difficult to show. And this right here is not the redstone. This is me trying to recreate this circuit with an observer block, but unfortunately I couldn't really get anywhere. This is the circuit that I've built, and it relies on a simple trick, which is this bit of redstone right here. It was powering that block, and when you redirect it to no longer power the block, it doesn't actually update the piston here. That's what the string does. So when we stand on the string, we update the piston, and if you just focus your attention on that bit of redstone right there, that is the magic. See how it powers this block, and then the direction gets changed by that redstone block. That is the trick to make this thing work. And so to hide this inside of our base, I've added a few extra white concrete and glass blocks on all of the sides here, and that actually hides the redstone down below perfectly. And now we're going to focus our attention down here and flesh out a room design. And not everything is going to be integrated. I couldn't really find room for the brewing, so we need a brewery room. We also need a bedroom as well. Anyway, let's hop on down. One of the ways I want to use this room is just by standing directly in the middle. From here I can actually reach everything in sight, including the buttons. So over on this wall we've got things related to XP with the grindstone and the anvil. And again, everything is accessible. So I can click on these from far away, with the exception from the fletching table because it doesn't have a function yet. Now over on this side we got the loom, and in this shulker box I've put some sticks and some banners. Same over there. In these yellow ones I plan on putting lots of dyes, which makes total sense because you use all of those things in here. We need a few more of these. Some of them are a little tricky to get your hands on, but the flower charge banner patter, perfect place to leave it would be in here for use inside of the loom. Then over on this side I'm going to put some hoppers with some fuel pointing in on the back side. Fill it up with sticks, something like that. But yeah, if ever you need to put a couple of things in the blast furnace like netherite, this is the spot to do it. So I will come down here, have access to all of this stuff, and stand in the central point, and then when I want to leave, just like that, we're out of here. Ah, the sweet sound of fire from beds. For the next part of this episode, we're going to need some netherite ingots. So 45 minutes spent down here. I've got 20 ancient debris. That'll make 5 ingots, which is fantastic. I've worn through this pick, used a little bit of TNT as well, and decided to collect the gravel while I was down here. I know I can now get this from piglin bartering, but it's pretty easy to pick up the gravel. You get to see potentially more of this ancient debris. And anyway, 20 blocks in 45 minutes. I am pretty happy with that. Oh, this reminds me. Hermitcraft now has a nether hub. Oh, look at this building. My first time going through it here. It is a glorious, fantastic build by none other than Full Symmetry. And Mr. Ghast, please don't shoot at our fantastic new nether hub. This is a gorgeous building. Looks like the main portal is yet to be lit, but this is like a jump off point to fly through the nether and go to other nether hubs, and currently there's a big old wall of netherrack in our way. Let me show you how we get to our spot. We drift under here, head over in this direction, and there it is, the corrupted tower. So we are back in the overworld, and I wanted to let you know it's business as usual with another Hermitcraft live stream weekend. The dates are on your screen, the schedule is on your screen. You know the deal by now. Put it in your calendar and livestream.hermitcraft.com to get links to all of the Hermit streaming. And I also wanted to let you know about a video that went up on my second channel, because it turns out that all seeds in Minecraft have a shadow seed, and Hermitcraft has one as well. And so I made a video where we explored the Hermitcraft seed side by side with its shadow seed. It was seriously interesting stuff. And by the way, this delicious block of gold was brought to us from Cub for our victory in the bingo game that we played when we updated to 1.16. So I am now the Baron of Bingo. And yes, that is a golden apple known as the Notch Apple, a rarity that I will happily take. And do you know what we're going to do with this? We're going to craft it up. Yeah, look at this. I can make a banner pattern. We were literally speaking about those earlier. So now we got the thing as well. Yeah, it's literally called the thing. And let's slap that button and get out of here. Not seen it like that before. And now we're back down here again, because of course I need to actually craft up these netherite scraps. And we're very fortunate I put all of this stuff together this episode, because I'm immediately making use of all of this. We need to put together a hoe. I've already got one with Silk Touch, now I need one with Fortune on. So we've got Unbreaking, Mending, Fortune and Efficiency 5. And of course we're going to upgrade this thing into a netherite hoe. And what would you know, 4 other ingots left and the last 4 of my tools to be upgraded. This is just terrific. And look at this, my friends, fully decked out with netherite gear ready to go. And the first thing we're going to do is make use of this efficiency hoe. And so I wanted this netherite hoe with Fortune on it to grow a few more jungle trees down in this area. Now I've chopped tons down and then I've been replanting them with jungle saplings, and these are actually the last of them that I've got left. So obviously I want to replenish this, and I kind of wondered how much we could get back using a hoe. And the answer is 3 additional saplings, which is really not a lot, so growing the trees individually and replanting them would take a heck of a long time. But luckily for us, there's another place where jungle trees need dismantling. When I was chatting with Tango about the game over here, he He was saying they want to rip out everything here, all the trees in the back area, so why don't we come in here and use this spot to get ourselves some more saplings. And so this jungle has been hit with a decimation, as we needed an accumulation of oak leaves. And this was for the restoration of the jungle area in our base. This is the last time we have to do this now. The jungle is all in order again. And as you can see, grown trees, put down leaves, put the path in place, and all's good. And that is not the last we're going to see of our Silk Touch netherite hoe, because we need to accumulate even more leaves for another project. But first of all, before we talk about that, I bumped into a wandering trader whilst doing bits and bobs around the server, and I got the most expensive one of them all, the netherite block, and we're actually going to take these and sell them for a premium. I'm curious if this will sell for a diamond block each, because you think about it, the material that goes into this trade is actually pretty expensive, so it makes this valuable. And also, these are the other ones that I got that we haven't accumulated before. So over here at the beautiful block exchange building, I have put these up for sale with a large price. 1 netherite mini block for 1 diamond block. Yes, let's hope these sell. That was my 1 netherite block, by the way. Easy come, easy go, as they say. But there might just be a way to get our hands on some more. As you can see, there are some right here. This is the bounty for a new game known as, I think it's the Leave game. I might have gotten that wrong. The Hedge games, yes, I knew it was a play on the Head games, and I just knew that Leaves wasn't that play. Maybe EFO is playing this game as well. It looks like the competition might just be heating up here. EFO is thinking of winning. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Good strategy. And now Keralis is here as well with a very peculiar looking skin. What has he been up to? He looks like a commando. So this odd looking fella right here is Bernie, and the objective is to fill Bernie's mouth up with leaf blocks. In fact, shulker boxes full of leaf blocks, and it looks like EFO's laid claim to this one right here. Now apparently shulker boxes are going to be provided, and I guess the way in which Iskall would know who's deposited what is by having a sign above the chest, so I want to reserve one for myself. And there we go, so we are now in the game, and the prize is this right here. So the gold blocks, you know, we got a gold farm, the diamonds are great, beacons are awesome, and there's quite a few netherite blocks there. I would love to get my hands on them. So we're going to be in need of a teammate, I reckon, if we're to get any of this, because I think Iskall needs 1 million leaves, which is literally ridiculous. And while I was in the area, I thought I'd check up on our profits. The rock shop, the ink sacks that we sell, the bones, bringing in the diamonds. The concrete factory has really slowed down though, just 4 diamonds to split between me and Keralis, but made over a stack myself today. That's fantastic. And then walking past these turtles, I mean, I know that they've been here for like the longest time, but they never move, right? They're always just in this exact same position. I've got to keep my eye on that. There's something fishy going on here. I swear they never move. They just stay in the exact same spot. Well, this explains the shortage of diamonds over here. I think Keralis actually did a roundup because, my goodness me, a stack and a half. Well, business has actually been through the roof then. That's terrific. So I come over here to put my diamonds away. Look, they're still in exactly the same spot. They don't move, I tell you. They do not move. And it looks like since I was last here, Cleo has now signed up, and there's a whole bunch of shulker boxes. What I'm not going to do is take these off to fill them up. I think I'm going to fill up my own shulker boxes, bring them back here, swap them over, and then put them into this chest. However, there are hoppers below, so when I put stuff in there, I believe it disappears into the system. So we'll want to keep tally of how many leaves we deposit over here. So we've recently built farms for feathers, sugarcane and leather, and that of course enables us to make book and quills nice and easy. And it's at times like these when it comes in useful. So in here I'm going to keep a tally of all the shulker boxes of leaves that I fill up. And I didn't want to put this in the shopping area because I spoke to Iskall and he wants this to be like a game of poker. So we're not allowed to tell the other hermits how many leaves we've actually collected. 12 full shulker boxes. That's what I've done so far. And the lectern over here, I was kind of thinking, oh man, you're going to have to move away from the central block to use it. But no, when you take the book, it actually comes straight into your inventory. So I can interact with both of these and update them, and then press the button and head out of here. And I love this. It's amazing. And in front of us, my friends, are these 12 full shulker boxes of oak leaves. This took me several hours to get them all together. And do you know how many there is in total? Over 20,000 leaf blocks. And I don't think I actually mentioned it earlier in the video. Iskall's after 1 million. 1 million leaf blocks. Which is kind of redonkulous. Now, it's kind of occurred to me that some of you may not actually know what Iskall is up to, and I didn't really explain why he wants these leaves. It's because he's building a giant tree. This right here is Mumbo's base, another impressive beast of a mega base here on the Hermitcraft server. And it appears to have like a golden and black heart. That's really interesting. Oh, and over here is Iskall's tree, and you can kind of get an idea now for why he needs so many leaf blocks. Wow, this thing right here is phenomenal. Look at the amount of wood that's gone into this so far. No wonder Iskall needs so many leaf blocks. I love the way everything like moves when you move around here, like the distance between certain things. I think something I'd like to do at some point in Minecraft is build like a sky base, because looking down at the jungle from up here, it really gives you a sense of scale. Well, enough flying around looking at the tree. We need to get back to our base. Wait a minute. Aha! A visitor. Oh. See you later. Oh, and when I was collecting leaves, I got my hands on an anonymous banner because I encountered a patrol, and then I realised last season of Hermitcraft we had chests upon chests upon chests upon chests of these things, and this season I haven't even done a raid or anything. That was like the first patrol that I'd encountered. A few of these would possibly look good in this area. Yeah, I could totally hang a couple of those around this place. Anyway, we are actually here to finish off this side over here where we have two open spaces, and gotta watch my health here. Whew, they hit hard. So a while back I designed this old contraption for growing the new types of vine. Of course, bone meal goes in the dispenser, and the piston above it then harvest these blocks, and the idea is that you'd put them in a tube and that you'd have something at the bottom to collect all of the items as they fall. And then with this clock arrangement right here, you can very efficiently bone meal the vines and harvest it to kind of get a pretty decent amount of these vines back. And as you can see here, it's not growing every single time, but when it does grow, a few of them pop off, which is fantastic. So for this vine type, the design is actually flipped upside down. It's like a mirror of what you've got going on over here. So if we go and activate it, the principle is pretty much the same. I'm not sure why that piston is double firing. I do not remember it doing that before, but it seems to actually producing way more of these vines. Anyways, I did have this idea. It'd be really cool if this one was directly on top of this one here, and you could only run one of them at a time, and then you'd have one collection system, but both of them would be in the same spot. However, we got a spot over here and a spot over there that need filling with a couple of farms, so we're going to separate these out and have one on either side. So the room is looking pretty complete now. Obviously we've got the roof to do, and then we got to take care of this space down here. I have some plans, but as always, I'm open to suggestions. I keep thinking, maybe there's some sort of farm we could sneak into this area. Probably not though, right? Anyway, heading on up into this space, you'll see that we put the green on one side, the red on the other. And I really love these doors. They look so mysterious and as if there's some sort of danger behind them. But what's actually behind them is the means to stock this up with bone meal. Now on this side, it would have been easier to integrate it into the interface, but on the other side, it would have required a bunch of redstone. And that's because you have to go all the way up here to put in the bone meal, because this one works in reverse, right? Because it goes downwards. So basically, I didn't fancy overcomplicating this stuff. I just wanted it to fit into the area and to feel nice, to come over here, to whack the lever, and let some vines drop down. Now if we wait for a moment and hit it again, yeah, you'll see there's like a big drop after. The piston at the top actually kind of hangs on to some of the vines and stops them from falling, so you kind of want to use it a little bit at a time. And then the design over here, obviously, you can see more of the action because it grows from the bottom. Hey, that door just opened itself. What? Hey. Was this something, but it was you? Oh, okay, that totally freaked me out. The door just sort of opened and closed itself. Oh yeah, and the logic here was just that, you know, if you leave the door open, it doesn't look as nice because of all the netherrack back there, so figured put a pressure plate down. Well, just the roof to go now that all the farms are in place. It's really starting to feel like a home. I've been over here, by the way, AFKing basically, to leave the bartering farm running and doing stuff like that. Also, thank you for all your comments as always. Tons of feedback about the chicken farm. I was trying to remember something, and I believe I know what it is. The chickens can actually not go over a trapdoor, right? They can't pathfind over it is the idea, so I don't actually need this second layer. However, they are on carpets, which might change that, so we're going to run a little experiment, and we're just going to lower it down to this height, and it looks like they're all agreeing to stay on the inside. I also had some suggestions to use honey blocks, would have also worked, but it would have broken the theme here because we're using the green carpets there to represent grass to kind of give it that overworld feel. So yeah, looks like that's all it needs. They just don't go over trapdoors. I remember seeing that on Reddit or something years ago. Oh, and look at that. We got a fair amount of feathers, and I would be wise to actually clear this out. Well then, I guess that brings us towards the end of another episode, but I'd like to say, I feel like this place needs another tower. I think I'm going to aim to start one in the very next episode, but this is where we're wrapping it up. As always, if you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, and remember to check out the video mentioned earlier in this video. There'll be a link in the description box down below. I hope you've been entertained, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for another episode of Hermitcraft. Bye bye.